Yeah, I know what you're thinking right now. You saw the title of this episode and thought, hey, aren't you one of those extreme metal guys? Yes, I am. But anything that's adjacent to death metal, like deathcore, and anything that's adjacent to hardcore, we're all about here. If it's heavy, we love it. Plus, when it comes to core and modern metal, Nik Nocturnal's already done all the heavy lifting for us. All I gotta do is vote for the bands that Nik has already nominated for the 2025 Nik Nocturnal Awards. That's right, on episode 247 of Heavy Metal Philosophy, we're voting on every category of the 2025 Nik Nocturnal Awards, so join for fun metal things. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, Jon Barbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's Riff of the Week. All right, we got a lot of categories and a lot of bands to go through, so I'm going to jump right into it. But first, a couple of quick housekeeping notes, and then we'll jump right into the voting. First of all, longtime subscribers might be thinking, hey, the podcast normally comes out on Tuesday. Why is it out on Monday? Well, the reason it's out on Monday is I got to get this out as quickly as possible because the voting for the 2025 Nik Nocturnal Awards ends on Wednesday. And I'm not sure what time on Wednesday. I don't know if it's the end of the day on Wednesday or the beginning of Wednesday. So to be sure, make sure you vote before Wednesday. And one more thing, I usually wait a couple of weeks before I make the video portion available on Spotify for you audio-only listeners. I'm going to remedy that this week as quickly as possible because this will be kind of a video-heavy episode. You will be able to follow along on the podcast, but I'm clicking through the voting, so if you want to see it, I'll get that up on Spotify as soon as possible, or if you're on YouTube, no worries. All right, first up, as is customary for Nik Nocturnal, the breakdown of the year. Some of you saw my episode a while back where I talked about how I thought breakdowns were getting kind of stale because they are so expected in the genre. Well, this year, bands have really upped their game. One of the things I noticed in listening to every one of these breakdowns is almost every one of these songs has what I would call a pre-breakdown. What would have counted as a breakdown in years past is just the build for an even heavier breakdown this year. I love it. As for my vote, my gut instinct was to go with Whitechapel, the OGs. I absolutely loved Hymns and Dissonance. However, for this category, breakdown of the year, the one that blew me away the most novel listening experience was Netherwalker with Battle of Tradom. This band is like the everything band of extreme metal. They're technical death metal, they're deathcore, they're slam, and there's even a bit of thaw here in this breakdown. It makes you laugh how ridiculous this breakdown is. They do so much wild stuff, and it just gets wilder and wilder after every second. Don't take my word for it. The patriarch, we'll call him, of the Nik Nocturnal Awards, this is how he reacted.
Dude, okay. If there's an award show this year, that gets nomination for Animal Noise. Someone write it down. That gets nomination. Who's gonna fight this one?
Point made. So let's go ahead and click here for Netherwalker, Battle of Tradom. Now for Angriest Song of the Year. All right, for Angriest of the Year, I was real tempted to vote for Pint Glass Stella FC because this is like if Guy Ritchie made a deathcore song. A lot of fun on this one and super heavy, but when it comes to the angriest and the heaviest, I gotta pick Despised Icon, Over My Dead Body. The OGs, plus we absolutely love it here when you can still hear the hardcore influences in our deathcore. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Despised Icon. Let's click that one right there. Now, For the second hardest category of this year for me, Guitarist of the Year. Personally, this category was a three-way race. First up, we've got Scott Carstairs, who has the most instantly recognizable tone and style of anybody on this list. It takes about 2 seconds of hearing this before you know it's him. And then you've got Greg Burgess from Allegiant, who for my money is the best shredder on this list. And Allegiant had the best guitar song of the year, in my opinion, with Dark Matter Dynamics. Instant classic for me, but you know I'm a Rivers of Nile fanboy, so I gotta pick Brody Utley because of the unique style, sound, and approach that Rivers of Nile brought this year and on their last album too, but specifically this year with their self-titled album. So let's click that Brody Utley. Next up is Drummer of the Year. I gotta tell you, I am shocked that Vessel 2 isn't nominated. Didn't Sleep Token put out an album this year? Oh well, in the absence of Vessel 2, I'm going to choose Blake Richardson, Between the Buried and Me, because The Blue Nowhere was easily one of the most unique albums of this year, and I was so impressed by how quickly he transitions between styles along with the rest of the band. That's an easy vote for me this year. Let's click Blake Richardson. And now for Vocalist of the Year. Once again, my gut drew me towards Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel, the OG, one of the kings of screaming. But I chose Tatiana this year from Ginger because her voice is so instantly recognizable. But even despite how good she is, she's still continuing to improve. The record Duel this year was much more personal than usual, and so we got much more emotive performances out of the band. I was thrilled with it. We're going to click on Tatiana. Next up is Bassist of the Year. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Underrated, overlooked, and oftentimes the best musician in the band. My bass player would probably pick Eugene from Ginger or Ryan from Mudvayne, but y'all know me, I'm going to pick Biggs from Rivers of Nile because not only is he a great bass player, but he's also performing lead vocal duties while he's doing it. I've seen them live, and he's up there doing the two-hand tapping thing while screaming the most intense prog that's out right now. I can't get enough. Let's click on Adam Biggs, Rivers of Nile. Here we go. We recently did an episode on this, Masked Musician of the Year. First of all, I think it's hilarious that each individual member of Sleep Token is nominated. Second of all, my gut makes me want to vote for Blothar from Gwar just out of respect for the OGs, but I'm going to cast my vote for Zachary from Imperial Triumphant because their record Gold Star was absolutely killer. And also we've got some black metal representation on the Nik Nocturnal Awards. Let's click on Zachary Ezrin, Imperial Triumphant. Next up is Call Out of the Year. A good call out can turn a pedestrian breakdown into an absolute crusher, but in an age where every band and every song has a breakdown, call-outs, they become sort of routine. There's been so many great ones, but there's so many average ones. It's really hard to stand out from the pack, which is why I'm picking Dying Wish. I Don't Belong Anywhere because It stands out from the pack when everybody else is screaming their heads off for the call out. She hit this subdued, matter-of-fact, stoic, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Sometimes less is more. Let's click on Dying Wish, I Don't Belong Anywhere. And next up, the Deathcore arms race of who can make the gnarliest animal noise continues. Animal noise of the year.
I love how like a lot of bands have given up the like animal noise wars, and Netherwalker's like, F all of you guys, dude. I'ma just own this shit. I love metal. I love that nothing makes sense. Because of that, everything makes sense. Because nothing does. Yeah, spray paint the toilet bowl core. It's so fucking stupid sounding. Amazing. I love it. I'm going to go to sleep to this sound.
I was once again tempted to vote for Netherwalker, but for this category, I'm voting for Sinister and Peeling Flesh with Postmortem Anomalies because of the oscillating pig squeal. Ha! Novel. Yeah, let's click on this Sinister and Peeling Flesh right here. Next up is modern metal's version of the power ballad, Feels Are Real. Here I was tempted to vote for Bad Omens because it would be unfair to call them a guilty pleasure of mine, because I would have to feel guilty in order for that to be accurate. I don't feel guilty. I like Bad Omens and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. But for this particular category, Feels Are Reals, I'm picking Stick to Your Guns, Keep Planting Flowers because it's simple and direct, which makes the emotive quality more punchy, stronger, hits me in the feels more. The name of the category plus that lyric, Keep Planting Flowers, is brilliant.
And you said you just needed to clear your head. I wish I hadn't been so afraid. I just wish I could say you were never invisible to me.
So, clicking on Stick to Your Guns. Yeah, the next category, Best Metal Content. I am tickled pink about this one. That's right, Heavy Metal Philosophy is now an award-nominated podcast metal show, and I could not be more proud. Thank you, Nik, for honoring me, and more importantly, thank you all for helping to get me here. I have heard my entire life different artists, when they get nominated for awards, say, it's an honor just to be nominated. And yeah, that's what you're supposed to say. But now I understand the true meaning of that saying, because I am indeed honored to be nominated amongst these names. To have my little show on the same list as these names is incredible to me. For God's sake, the Garza podcast is on this list. Garza is the guitar player for Suicide Silence, one of the most important deathcore bands that there has ever been. And my show is on the same list as his. I cannot believe this. I have the second lowest amount of YouTube subscribers of any content creator on this list. And the Brutality podcast, they're a podcast, so they've likely got way higher subscribers on podcast formats and platforms than I do. I'm just counting YouTube. Several of these content creators have over 1 million subscribers. The ones that don't are over 100,000. And I got to tell you, if I wasn't nominated, I would vote for 66 Samus or Josh Rez, because I've never watched any of their content without smiling. Those guys absolutely rule, but selfishly, you know what we're doing. We're voting for Heavy Metal Philosophy. Click that link right there. Next up, Best Metal News Source. Guess Metal Digest is going to have to keep growing. Now, on this list, shout out to Greg from Metal Injection, and I also really like the PRP. They've probably got the best website on this list, but just like years past of Nik Nocturnal Awards, I'm going to vote for Rockfeed just because I feel like we're fellow travelers, a fan of music who decided to start a YouTube channel, and now look at him. We're going to click on Rock Feed. Next up, music video of the year. Now, this was an easy category for me, probably the easiest, and let me tell you why. We should have a criteria when we decide on these categories, and my criteria for video of the year is which video enhanced the song, which video made the song seem even heavier. So maybe if your criteria is which video is the most entertaining, then probably Pint Glass Stella FC is the most entertaining. That's a fun video. But for my criteria of which ones enhance the song and make them heavier, it's Igor Daimani, head and shoulders above all the rest. This video rules. This reminds me of the first time I'm seeing like Behemoth videos. I was like, I can't believe they make them this evil. You absolutely have to check this one out. Next up is record label of the year. All right, for this category, I made it easy on myself. Speaking of criteria, I emailed the editor of Metal Digest and I asked him to send me a spreadsheet of all the reviews I wrote this year in which I gave a 9 out of 10. I then sorted that spreadsheet by record label and counted which label had the most 9 out of 10s, and it was a two-way tie between Season of Mist and Metal Blade. And since Season of Mist is not nominated this year, easy choice. Let's click on Metal Blade Records. Next up, Breakthrough Band of the Year. This category was also easy for me because I, no surprise, picked the death metal band. This is the music that I like the most, but also Netherwalker didn't really make music videos. There wasn't a lot of online hype for them. They got so much attention because their music is that crazy. Big respect. Let's click on Netherwalker. Next up is Collab Song of the Year. Let me just show y'all my reaction when I heard, or rather saw, the collaboration with Poppy, Amy Lee, and Courtney LaPlante. Oh! Yeah, easy pick. Let's click on this Poppy, Amy Lee, Courtney Plant, End of You. Next up, Radio Song of the Year. Here I was once again tempted to vote for Bad Omens. I love Bad Omens, but as far as the criteria of this award, Radio Song of the Year, we got to go with Sleep Token. That was easily the poppiest song, and I have a hidden agenda because at the end, they are exposing the masses to post-black metal. So yeah, we got to click on Sleep Token. Next up, Song of the Year. So many great songs this year, but y'all know me. I'm going to pick Rivers of Nile, House of Light. Let's click on that. Now I know I'm going to be accused of being a Rivers of Nile fanboy, guilty as charged, but there's a reason I'm such a fanboy. I genuinely believe that House of Light is the best song on this list. It's certainly the most unique sounding song on this list. Shout out to Death Haven and Gaeria though. Just for being black metal, I definitely wanted to vote for y'all. Next up, EP of the Year. Now y'all know the heavier it is, the more I'm gonna like it. So for EP of the Year, I'm picking Crown Magnetar Punishment. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe the week that this album came out, I picked it for the album art of the week. Killer album art and even more killer music. Absolute crushers on this one. Riffs for days, super heavy, easy vote for me. Let's click on Crown Magnetar. Next up, the most difficult category to choose. I wish I could choose more than one. Album of the Year. This one was so hard. Of course, y'all know I want to pick Rivers of Nile, but then there was also Despised Icon, Shadow of Intent. Shout out Austin, I know you love that one. Cryptopsy, Mirar, Vildharta, Allegiant. There was so many great albums this year. Man, if you ask me tomorrow, I might pick a different one, but I'm going Igor Amen. The most experimental, the most dense, heavy, mirthful at times, fun-loving, just an absolutely incredible production. Listen, do yourselves a favor and look at the documentary that the Metal Injection YouTube channel did about the making of Amen. So much cool stuff happening in the studio, and it wasn't just experimentation for experimentation's sake. In the end, it's musical, tight, punchy, heavy, so heavy, evil sounding, but sometimes also upbeat. Just incredible record. Let's click on Igor all the way down here at the bottom. Amen. And that's all the categories for the 2025 Nik Nocturnal Awards. Let's hit that submit button. Oh, looky here. We also have a giveaway for this year's awards. If you vote, you get a chance to win a Marshall JCM 800 and a 19060B cabinet to go along with it. Do you want a Marshall half stack? You could win if you vote. You've got until Wednesday to vote. Plus, you know you want to vote for Heavy Metal Philosophy, best metal content of 2025. So head on over to the Nik Nocturnal Awards. There is a link in the description. Please go vote. And hey, look, vote with all your email addresses. Make your cat an email address. Get your Meemaw's email address. Vote for Heavy Metal Philosophy multiple times, because if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And if you like extreme metal, hit that subscribe button, because we're doing the Heavy Metal Philosophy, thrash metal, black metal, death metal, progressive metal, and more. We're doing all of the Album of the Year awards from Heavy Metal Philosophy right here on this channel for the rest of December. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Here's the riff of the week, but most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.